Hi Mom, I'm sending this video to you in lieu of a card for Mother's Day because I have done what I traditionally do and not gotten a card in time to send it to you early enough so that you would have it by Mother's Day. So uh, instead of a card, I thought that maybe I would just do this. This is weird, it's kind of awkward, but I wanted you to have something for Mother's Day, and since the card it wasn't going to be a card, I thought maybe this was an option. So we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to send this to you. I'm going to put this on YouTube, and then I'll email you the link. And, well, you'll already see it, so it doesn't matter if you're reading this or watching this. So, anyway, happy Mother's Day, and I love you. And you are a great mom and a great grandmother and a great wife to Dad. And I don't think that I don't think anybody would question any of those items. And you are a very hard, diligent worker in all that you do, whether it be at your job at the school or being the wife of a pastor at church and all of the different things with Sunday schools and the ladies groups and all of that stuff that you do there, as well as, being the wife, and helping Dad with the things that he needs done, and just caring for the house and just caring for the families, and just all that you do. It's just pretty incredible, actually, how much you do, and how you don't complain, you don't waver, you don't relax much at all. You know, you're just like perpetual motion. You don't ever stop. But anyway, I wanted to maybe, I guess, I didn't know what to do, so maybe I was going to share a couple of thoughts and just a couple of things about you. The other night when I was thinking about doing this, I've been thinking about what to say. I don't have anything lined up here. I'm not working off of a teleprompter like some people do, and so everything's just kind of ad lib. But one thing I realize is that the cliche where you, you you hear people say, well, pets look like their owners, women marry people like their women marry men like their dad that resemble their dad, or and I think that I have married somebody that is a lot like you, because Laura has a lot of very very deep devotion to her family instilled in her, and she does a great job with the kids, and she does a good job with the house considering its size and considering how many kids, and that she still works and everything like that. Or at least in my mind's eye, I don't have anything to compare it to. But Caleb or Laura just does a great job with the family and the kids, and I know that she picks up where I lack, and I don't spend much time home. And the time I do, I'm usually working on something. So, Laura picks up the slack, and it's good mom. And I say all that because I realize that she really is a lot like you. And I think back when my childhood, when you were raising me and bringing me up, and Stephen and Justin, how much time you invested in each of us, how compassionate you were, how nurturing you were, and loving, and you were always a positive influence, and you always encouraged us to move on. And some people took a little bit more encouragement, some of us took more encouragement than others. But you've always been a constant. You've always been a huge supporter for Dad. You're faithful. I mean, you're a faithful woman. Your faith is tremendous. Um, I almost don't want to use the word, but you're a constant. You've been all of those attributes that you have. Your faithfulness, your nurturing love, your encouragement. You're steadfast. Um, just all of those characteristics. Thinking as far back as I can remember, you've always been the same. You haven't wavered off of that. Your devotion and your support for Dad has been the same as long as I can remember back to my childhood, all the way up through now. Your love for your kids. It's always been right up in the front. You've always cared for us, the same. You've always invested all your time and in your efforts into caring for the kids and making sure that we are taken care of. All your your character has been consistent all the way throughout. And it's pretty tremendous. You haven't wavered at all. You haven't slackened up at all. Even now, your time invested and the efforts that you have to put forth are just ongoing. But you don't waver. You don't complain. You don't do anything halfway. You've always got full effort into all that you do, and I realize that how blessed I am as a child for you and Dad. Laura's the same way. The blessing that she has is for having parents that have always stood by. She's the same way. We both come from, I would consider, normal childhoods. We've got both of our parents still. They're both around. There's no divorce involved. Our parents still love each other. We have this tremendous example set before us that we're able to pattern our own lives and our own families by and how we do things. And so you're an incredible part of that, of how our family has come up, because we've got this example that we can look at, or that we have come up underneath, and you have lived your life a certain way, and it has taught me, and Laura the same with her. You guys have taught us how we should respond and how we should do things and how we should act and react, and it has given us, hopefully we'll have the same thing in our own families, and, our kids as they look at us, because us as kids, we have been able to look at our parents and find this example. So, anyway, I just thought I'd share maybe a memory or two, and I don't have not been any one life-altering moment. Again, it kind of goes back to consistency and how you've always remained the same and you've done the same thing all the time. You've always done the right thing and you've done it well. Anyway, so I don't know. I remember back. I don't remember the name. It was before Cameron, before the house on Cameron, the one that was right back behind Dad's parents' house there on Cherokee. Remember back there, actually that picture that we have of me that was drawing hanging up in our room. I think you guys had that when we lived at that house. I remember that. I remember erector sets. I remember having one there. I just don't remember a whole lot at that house, but I do remember that house, and I remember you and Dad there, and actually I do remember Dad bouncing me on the bed one time, just kind of being over me and bouncing me up and down. I guess I thought that was fun. I remember you dressing me up for Sunday one day. And I don't know why that stuck in my head, but I do. But I do remember that street look. I remember putting pebbles in the hubcaps at that house. I don't remember what car that was. I remember hearing about that or being got after. Cameron Street. I remember going over to a friend's house one time that after school, after elementary school, and I climbed the tree and fell. I'm sure you remember that one too. But I remember you were the first responder. I remember you were there first and quick. You know, after falling through there and landing on my way down, hitting the back of my head on one of those tree branches. I think I still got a little crick every now and again when I catch when I try to pop my neck. But I remember that, and then having to go to the hospital after that. Man, I remember getting my mouth washed out with soap one time. That was nasty. Remember you and I, I think right after we moved to Brandon, we went to East Lake Mall. This one I remember, and I thought it was kind of funny, but it surprised me. I think that's why I remember it. We went to the mall. I don't remember if you were shopping for curtains or what it was, but we were leaving, I think, and I asked you, what was if you could have any car, what would it be? And you said a Corvette, and that blew me away because I've never seen you with a car that resembled anything like that. I don't know if you'd still do a Corvette or not. Kind of like a hot little thing there. That's kind of cool. Oh, gosh. I don't know. I mean, I can work my way all the way through, but one thing I always know is that you have always been involved in my life. You know, you've always it doesn't matter. Elementary school, the park during summer, you know, high school. I remember you trying to direct me a little bit with a couple of the girls that I was dating in high school. I remember one in particular you didn't care so much for, and you told me about it. You know, you're kind of a quiet person, but you let me know about her. Obviously, that didn't work out anyway. So, but yeah, that was. But you've always been there. You've always been constant. You've always been dependable. You've always been somebody I can always depend on. We may not talk a whole lot, but there is that knowing. You know, it's like having a friend forever, and you don't necessarily. It's a good friend is somebody you don't always have to have contact with day and day and day and day and day in, and feel like unless you have it, you just don't have a friend. You're like that friend that you can go years. Not that that's the case, but you know, one of those friends that you can go years between visits, and like strike up a conversation, and just you would pick up that relationship, like there was never any time there. You know, I kind of feel like that with you. You know, it's like you're that constant, no matter how much time between conversations or visits, you're there, and it's just like nothing ever changed. I'm not sure if that's a very good analogy or not, but anyway, it makes me feel better. To know. I mean, it's not really awkward, and I'm grateful for that. But anyway, it looks like I'm running up some time here, and I'm not sure how this is going to play out. I'm going to put this on YouTube, and I'll send you the link. But I hope this will suffice, and I'm sorry I didn't get you a card. You know, if you were really looking for a card, I can still send you one. You know, but I hope this will kind of take the place of it. And but just know that I love you. You know, and there's I don't know. I can't express a devotion. You know, there's not a word other than the words that we know. So anyway, I hope you have a good day. Hope you have a nice Mother's Day. I'm sure Dad will take you out and take care of you and treat you good. And so you have a nice day. I love you.